For over a century, organizations have operated under a structural separation between labor and technology. Humans performed productive work, while software served as a tool. Artificial intelligence systems have dissolved this boundary. They now execute operational tasks, generate analytical outputs, and influence decision pathways autonomously. Because AI systems generate output and introduce measurable variance, they function as labor. They are no longer simple software utilities, they are active workforce capacity. Governing this new reality requires a formal engineering discipline established by the AI Workforce Design Standard. Treating autonomous intelligence merely as an IT asset guarantees organizational instability as deployments scale. Most enterprises currently drop AI systems into operations using standard software procurement frameworks. This approach results in accountability ambiguity and performance distortion, and destabilized workplace culture. Architects must instead focus on hybrid labor integration. This is the structural layer required to coordinate silicon and carbon workers within a unified system. Current deployment failures stem from architectural absence rather than a lack of technological maturity. Organizational design is now the primary variable for success. Workforce architects must explicitly restructure the firm to balance both types of labor. Hybrid labor design begins with work decomposition before any technology is selected. Attempting to delegate an entire human job title, such as a customer support representative, to an AI system is a structural error. Efficiency requires atomic task mapping. This is the process of breaking business outcomes into the smallest independently executable units of work. Each task is evaluated across 4 dimensions: cognitive complexity, variability, risk exposure, and accountability sensitivity. This evaluation defines the judgment protection threshold. This threshold identifies high-context, high-accountability tasks that must remain carbon exclusive, meaning executed only by humans. Low variability, bounded risk tasks are categorized as silicon suitable, making them candidates for AI delegation. Mandatory decomposition prevents the gradual erosion of human decision authority through incremental automation. Silicon suitable tasks must be engineered into formal AI roles before deployment. General-purpose AI lacks the necessary governance boundaries for disciplined workforce design. Every machine worker requires an AI role specification schema. This document defines strictly authorized input domains and expected output formats to prevent scope creep. The schema includes measurable performance criteria, like cost per outcome and the variance coefficient. Cost per outcome is the total operational cost divided by validated output units, and the variance coefficient measures performance deviation across similar inputs. AI roles utilize an escalation pathway. An escalation pathway is the defined process by which AI roles defer uncertain, ambiguous, or high-risk outputs to human oversight. This pathway links the machine directly to a designated human accountability owner. AI cannot hold ethical or legal liability. Human accountability must be explicitly preserved within the system architecture. Bounding these roles transforms AI from an experimental risk into a reliable and governable labor unit. Individual AI roles operate within a systemic context called a hybrid workforce architecture. In a single-role assistive model, an AI role acts as a recommendation engine supporting a human worker. More complex systems utilize a specialist agent network, where multiple parallel AI roles perform discrete task functions from a shared input stream. Organizations may also deploy a human-supervised mesh. This is a network of semi-autonomous AI roles bounded by continuous human approval gates. All architectures require failure containment mechanisms, including quarantine capabilities and graceful degradation protocols. Without these controls, systems fall victim to architectural drift, where escalation backlogs and exceptions slowly warp the intended design. Classifying the architecture allows executives to model the human escalation bandwidth required to support silicon labor at scale. The ultimate mechanism for preventing system collapse is the effective silicon-carbon ratio. This formula frames the balance. Effective silicon labor capacity is the functional capacity of AI adjusted for productivity, uptime, and reliability. On the other side is effective carbon labor capacity. This represents human-performed capacity adjusted for productivity and judgment weighting. This equation does not measure physical headcount. It calculates the relative functional capacity contribution of each labor type. This ratio is bounded by governance capacity. Governance capacity refers to an organization's ability to oversee, audit, and manage hybrid labor systems. The standard requires that the silicon-carbon ratio remain less than or equal to the organization's governance capacity. If silicon deployment outpaces oversight, the system enters the over-automation risk zone. Symptoms include severe supervisor overload, rising output volatility, and massive escalation backlogs. Scaling autonomous AI with proportionally scaling governance capacity guarantees structural destabilization. Resolving an over-automation risk state requires actively scaling the organization's governance architecture. Firms achieve this by elevating their position on the governance maturity scale. Adding continuous monitoring and automated policy enforcement raises the governance capacity ceiling. This creates structural balance, a state where variance is controlled and accountability ownership is clear. Workforce architects have a duty to prioritize this structural balance over sheer automation volume. Treating AI as labor forces an enterprise to move past experimental software procurement into institutionalized organizational design. The resilience and efficiency of a firm's labor architecture will determine its future market dominance. The sophistication of the software stack itself is secondary. When intelligence becomes programmable, workforce design becomes an engineering discipline.